All right, guys, if you're new to the live, welcome. My name is Randall. This is the McClures. We react, review, we make fun of, we laugh at stuff. Links are in the description if you want to follow me on social media or help support the channel. We do rely on your guys' for support to keep me making content and providing cheeseburgers for my children. So if you want to help out, shopmcclures.com. We sell American-made products over there. Anything from car soap to beauty products to backpacks. All kinds of stuff made in America. Go check it out. See if there's anything that you want or need. And we would appreciate it. We'd appreciate it. We're going to check out a different type of video today. This is Atheist Ask Tough Questions with Epic Responses. Now, this is a reaction to another reactor who has a channel called Daily Dose of Wisdom. I didn't initially know this was another reaction, but we're good with it. Inception reaction. Reaction to a reaction to a reaction. We're fine. We're fine. Let's get into this. I'm curious. What are they talking about? What are the questions? Are they actually any good? Let's go.
Or a creation, to use the term painting, implies a painter. Or a design implies a designer. But I must ask, who designed God? And if no one designed God, if God is timeless, spaceless, and immaterial, and he existed eternally in an uncaused fashion, then why can't nature exist in the exact same way, in an eternal, uncaused, spaceless, timeless, immaterial fashion?
Good question.
Why can't our uncaused origins be as marvelous and precise as God, but be natural causes?
Excellent question, Carter. That's a very good question. You're right that we have two options here. Either the universe is the uncaused first cause, or something beyond the universe is the uncaused first cause. The problem is that all the evidence points to the fact that the universe is not the uncaused first cause. And I didn't have time to go through that evidence tonight. That was part one. But I'll give it to you very briefly in an acronym, SURGE, S-U-R-G-E. S stands for the second law of thermodynamics, which says that the universe is running down. Well, if it's running down, somebody must have wound it up. We'd have no energy left right now if the universe was eternal. The U stands for the fact that the universe is expanding. Edwin Hubble detected that back in 1929 and shows that everything came from a single point, a point actually of infinite density, the singularity, which is actually nothing. So the universe had a beginning. The R in SURGE stands for the radiation afterglow. That's the remnant heat discovered by Penzias and Wilson in 1965, which is literally the smoking gun to the Big Bang. There's heat, remnant heat from the Big Bang still out there, which shows that the universe had a beginning. The G in SURGE stands for the great galaxy seeds, which were very fine temperature variations in that radiation afterglow that allowed the galaxies to form in the early universe. And the E stands for Einstein's theory of general relativity, which shows that time, space, and matter are correlative, that they came into existence together, that space, time, and matter literally had a beginning. Einstein knew this in 1916. Then observational evidence began in 1919 when Eddington did his test on the eclipse. And then Hubble discovered the expanding universe in 1929, and then on to the radiation afterglow and the great galaxy seeds after that. So the evidence points to the fact that the universe is not the uncaused first cause.
Out there.
So there must be something beyond the universe that is, and that thing that's beyond the universe must be spaceless, timeless, and immaterial. And if you're timeless, do you have a beginning?
No.
No. So God is not, he didn't have a
Very
beginning.
pregnant
He's the
pause.
uncaused first cause. And look, Aristotle, Plato, they all knew this. They knew there had to be an unmoved mover.
I believe that you're drawing a false dichotomy, because we do not know that the original cause was God. There is no reason to say that an intelligent designer was the first cause, the uncaused first cause that caused everything else. I do not have the training or expertise to refute such science, and in fact I accept your conclusion that the Big Bang had a beginning and space, time, and matter came into existence from a point of origin. But we do not know that this point of origin is God. Calling it God is to make a false assumption. Another reason for the existence of everything might simply be that other dimensions had the power and the marvelousness and complexity to create a situation where where the Big Bang could be brought into existence and space, time, and matter could begin to exist without an intelligent designer having a hand.
I gotta say really quick before we get to Frank's response, I love this guy's humility and I love his honesty, and I love that he basically is saying, like, I don't have answers to the scientific acronym that you just laid out. So he's granting that rather than just trying to double down or feel like he has to like win the debate, win the argument, come up with something on the fly. He concedes that point. And then I love actually the philosophical point that he's making here, which is how do you make the jump from whatever could have caused the universe? He's saying like some sort of other dimensional winds or something that could have birthed this universe, which is an interesting question. I have thoughts, but let's let Frank Turk, let's
Before he paused and talk about it, I was going to stop and talk about that guy. Very smart guy. Very smart guy. Obviously isn't a believer by how he's framing the questions. But obviously somebody very intelligent who has thought about it. And yeah, these are very good questions.
Let's hear his answer here.
Well, Carter, what you just described there is what we would call God. God is in another dimension that has the ability to bring these dimensions into existence. So if you want to call it another dimension, you can call it that. But that's exactly what we mean by God.
But then why is there a theology? Why do we worship God? If he could easily be called another.
Excellent point. You don't have to worship God. In fact, Aristotle never worshiped God. In fact, the Greeks never got their theology and philosophy together. They knew that there had to be an unmoved mover, but they never put the two together and worshiped the unmoved mover. So you don't have to worship the unmoved mover. You don't have to. You can do whatever you want. That's why you have free will. God loves you enough to give you free will. You can love him or reject him. That's up to you.
But on that point, you do have the free will to accept or reject God, but the obvious conclusion is that rejection of God will lead to eternal damnation in hell. So in reality, we do not really have the choice to accept or not to accept God. We must ultimately accept God, assuming we choose to avoid perdition.
Well, if you want to avoid...
Good question.
Well, let me back up for a second. There's only two possibilities if God exists. In eternity, you're going to be with him or you're not going to be with him.
Facts.
Right? That's logically the only two options. If you want to be with him, you will seek him out and be with him. If you don't want to be with him, God will not force you into his presence against your will. In fact, let me make the objection stronger than what you're making it. You're very polite, but I debated an atheist who was a little bit more direct. And let me tell you, this man he's a good man. I like him. His name is Eddie Tabash. He's an attorney from Beverly Hills. We debated at University of Michigan a number of months ago. And he looked at me during the Q&A and he said, Frank, my mother
I'd like to watch that, maybe.
was a survivor of the Holocaust. She lived an awful life. Somebody presented her with the gospel and she rejected it. Is she in hell right now?
Yes.
Whoa. I said, Eddie, I don't know where your mother is. I don't know if she made a profession of faith in her last moments, but if she didn't, then God will not force her into his presence against her will. God is too loving for that. And I asked the audience this question. In fact, I'll ask you as an audience this question. Ladies, is there anybody in here who's ever had a man pursue you and you did not want that man to pursue you? You did not want to date him. Anyone in here? Of course. In fact, some of you are going, yeah, he's sitting right next to me right now. He won't leave me alone. I said, okay, ladies, suppose this man continues to pursue you and continues to pursue you. And you say, look, I only like you as a friend. Ladies, why don't you just take the knife, stick it in, and turn it? Because every man in here has heard this. I like you, but only as a friend. Well, suppose he continues to pursue you, and he gets to the point where he says, look, I love you so much, I'm going to force you to love me. Can he do that? No, he can't do that. Love, by definition, must be freely given. So if he truly did love you, what would he do?
Give you the choice.
He would leave you alone. That's exactly what God does. He keeps sending us cards, letters, and flowers while we're here. And if we keep rejecting him, he gives us up to our own desires. And that ultimately what hell is. Hell is separation from God. So you're free in hell. You can continue to reject God in hell, but you're confined to hell. In fact, hell is a quarantine of evil. That's what it is. And heaven, of course, is being in the very presence of God. God loves you too much to force you into his presence against your will.
Wow. Wow. Okay. That is quite the explanation, quite the breakdown. I got a little chills during that, honestly. Let's see if he's got a retort.
Thanks, Carter.
If there is some uncaused first cause of the universe, an unmoved.
Let me make sure he doesn't go back to it and see any other questions. No, that's just him finishing out the video. Okay. Very interesting, but very good questions from the atheist. You know, if we did start from a singular point, and why does it have to be a god that did it? Why couldn't it be, you know, aliens from another dimension figured out how to create an existence in this new dimension similar to their existence in their dimension? Which I guess technically could be a possibility. But his other question is very interesting too. He said, you don't really have a choice if your option is either eternity with God or hell. You don't really have a choice other than to believe in God. That is a very deep question right there. But that's like an internal deep question what you need to ask yourself. Why would you choose to not believe in a creator? I'm trying to figure out how to properly phrase this. Why would you choose not to believe in a creator? Well, you wouldn't be knowing that you're going to hell, because the people who don't believe in the creator don't believe that they're going to be going to hell. Amik on the chat's asking, so do you think that we're in hell? Do you think we're in purgatory? Or do you think we are yet to go there? I've had thoughts that we might be in either. Now, the whole saying that, well, based on the definition that guy just gave, which is basically hell is the complete separation from God. Right? So I don't think that I don't think that hell is earth, because we are not completely separated from God. Although that gentleman's answer said you do have the ability once in hell to continue to accept or reject God. And I don't know if that's the case, if you're going to base it on scripture. Because biblically, it seems like you need to make that decision here. Or, you know, they're one-way tickets. It doesn't seem like, well, you can not accept God here, be sent to hell, and then be like, yeah, this place sucks. Obviously, I accept God. And then you get a fucking fast track into heaven. So I don't think that it's the case that once you're in hell, you then have the option to go, oh, fuck, I made the wrong decision. Maybe you do. I don't know. Does the Bible speak on that? Anybody who's well-versed in the Bible, let me know. I am not well-versed in the Bible. I think I've read through it as a child. But I have not read through the entire thing as an adult. Part of that is because on my religious journey, I don't want to be too locked into the biblical perspective to be able to look outside of it, you know, to make some chances. I don't believe that there is a purgatory. From my research, purgatory doesn't exist in the Bible either. It's kind of made up by the Catholics. Catholicism made up purgatory. So if you want to call purgatory current, or, you know, earth, then that would make sense. Because if they define purgatory as the in-between heaven or hell while you figure it out, then that definitely would be now. But I definitely don't think you go to a holding room after you die. That That seems retarded. That doesn't even seem logical at all. That doesn't, excuse me. That doesn't make any sense to me at all. That you would go to a purgatory after you die. But that we're in purgatory now, making our choices, that makes sense. That definitely does make sense. Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. Definitely interesting. All right, well, if you're tuning in this on the live, we are not done for the day yet, but if you're watching for a video, come check us out live. Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at least. Rumble.com/McClures is the best place. We are available on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook, but Rumble.com/McClures is the preferred place. That's where we're really trying to grow the community. If you want to support, you can join the locals there and support monthly. If you'd like to make a donation, you can do that as well. We are relying on you guys to keep making content and keep this thing going so I don't have to go back into the shitty sales world. We are trying to make a run at this. So if you want to help me keep doing this, you can also shop McClures.com. That's a website that I created to sell quality American products. Another way for me to hopefully give back and benefit the country. Trying to do what we can. I appreciate you guys. Later, bye.